The call came at 6 a.m., a jarring ring that sliced through the quiet of my morning. The police station. My 11-year-old daughter, Mia, was there. They said she'd taken bolt cutters from my garage and used them to destroy the brake lines on all 3 of the school district's buses. When I arrived, my heart was in my throat. There she was, my sweet, quiet girl, sitting in the chief's office with grease dark under her fingernails. The principal was a tornado of fury, screaming about expulsion and criminal charges. And by the door, our longtime bus driver, Mr. Wilson, just shook his head in this performative, grandfatherly disappointment. "I can't believe sweet little Mia would do this," he sighed. "Such a good girl. I've driven her since kindergarten, given her candy on her birthday. Now the whole 5th grade misses their mountain field trip." The depot manager thrust his phone in my face, showing photos of severed brake lines dripping fluid. $200,000 in damages, he spat. "Someone has to pay." I felt sick. "Mia," I whispered, my voice trembling. "What did you do?" She didn't look at me. Her eyes were locked on Mr. Wilson. "I stopped Mr. Wilson from killing 30 kids today," she said, her voice clear and steady. The room went dead silent. Mr. Wilson let out a nervous, forced laugh. "Kids say the craziest things when they're in trouble. She's making up stories to avoid consequences." "You drink vodka every morning before you drive us," Mia stated, her words cutting through his act. My stomach plummeted. The principal blustered, "That is a very serious accusation, young lady." "I see him," Mia continued, unwavering. "Every single morning for months, he parks behind the depot, filling his thermos from a vodka bottle in his truck. He thinks no one can see him, but I walk right past there." The police chief leaned forward, his voice stern. "Something like that, you tell an adult immediately." "I told the principal last month," Mia said. "He said I was mistaken, that Mr. Wilson just drinks strong coffee." The principal's face flushed crimson. "You couldn't have been sure from that distance." "I know what vodka bottles look like," Mia replied, finally turning to me. "Mom keeps them in the garage to clean engine parts. I help her every weekend." It was true, I'd taught her that trick myself. My hands began to shake as the horrifying image formed in my mind, my daughter, my son, on a bus with a drunk driver. All those mornings I'd waved goodbye, trusting they were safe. "Mia," I breathed, my heart breaking. "Why didn't you tell me?" She looked down at her hands. "I didn't want to bother you. You're always so busy at work." "She's lying," Mr. Wilson insisted, but sweat was now beading on his forehead. "I have videos," Mia said, pulling out her phone. She handed it to the chief. "Here's you drinking in your truck yesterday. Here's you stumbling to the bus last week. And here's you swerving into oncoming traffic on Tuesday, with kids screaming in the back." The chief's face went pale as he watched the footage. Jesus Christ. This is from 3 days ago. He's clearly intoxicated. "These videos don't prove anything." Mr. Wilson's voice pitched higher, desperate. "And there's something else," Mia said, and the room held its breath. She showed us a weather alert on her phone from the night before, a flash freeze warning, black ice on all mountain roads. The field trip wasn't cancelled. "Today's route goes straight down Devil's Pass." She looked straight at Wilson. "With 30-degree grades, black ice everywhere, and you drunk. Our bus would have gone straight off a cliff. My little brother and 29 other kids would die today." "That's pure speculation," the principal said weakly, but his eyes were now fixed on Wilson with dawning horror. "Yesterday," Mia added, "I heard Mr. Wilson tell another driver he wouldn't cancel for bad weather. He needed the overtime pay. He said he'd driven drunk in worse conditions and that, kids bounce anyway." The chief stood up, his chair scraping loudly. "Mr. Wilson. Breathalyzer. Now." Wilson called it harassment, but he was already backing toward the door. He blew 3 times the legal limit, at 7 o'clock in the morning. When they searched his truck, they found the evidence, empty bottles under the seat, a half-finished one in the door. A rage I had never known in my entire life erupted in my chest. This man I had trusted. "You drove my babies drunk every single day," I screamed. "I waved to you every morning." 30 years driving without a single accident, Wilson slurred, swaying on his feet. The depot manager was already on the phone. "The buses are grounded for a week. You're fired, effective immediately." Wilson turned on my daughter, and the mask of the kindly grandfather dissolved into pure, bloodshot hatred. "You little brat. You ruined everything. I needed this job. You were going to kill us today, Mia said, her voice quiet and certain. That was when he lunged. Drunk and enraged, he moved faster than any of us could have imagined, his hands reaching for my little girl.